Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group. More than 140 groups flag DHS's AI use cases in a new letter to Secretary Mayorkas. And a Watchdog calls for additional oversight of VA's digital GI Bill platform project. It's Wednesday, September 4th, 2024. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Here are today's top headlines. More than 140 groups, including immigrant and civil rights organizations, are raising concerns about the Department of Homeland Security's use of artificial intelligence. Arguing in a letter sent to Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on Wednesday that the agency is violating federal rules, the letter calls on DHS and many of its components to suspend several AI use cases, including systems deployed by Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It comes as federal agencies face two upcoming deadlines related to their use of AI use case inventories. By December 1st, agencies must certify their waivers to sidestep some of the AI inventory guidance requirements, as well as complete processes for determining whether use cases are considered rights or safety impacting. FedScoop first reported the news that the White House had released its final AI use case inventory guidance late last month. The letter states that DHS's use of AI appears to violate federal policies governing the responsible use of AI, particularly when it comes to AI use to make life-impacting decisions on immigrant enforcement and adjudications, and that the authors have serious concerns that DHS has fast-tracked the deployment of AI technologies in contravention of these federal policies, executive orders, and agency memoranda. The letter pointed to several AI use cases at DHS, including a predicted to naturalize AI tool, certain algorithms used by ICE, and CBP use of biometric surveillance. Ultimately, the signatories call on the agency to, quote, cancel or suspend the use of any non-compliant AI tool by the December 1st deadline. The groups that signed the letter include the Service Employees International Union, the Virginia League of Women Voters, the AI Now Institute, and the American Jewish Committee, among many others. In other news, the Department of Veterans Affairs' digital GI Bill platform that was set to be fully operational by April of this year is now severely delayed and will cost double the original amount. That's according to the department's Office of the Inspector General. Insufficient planning on the part of the Veterans Benefits Administration is to blame for the delays, and $479 million in additional costs for the digital GI Bill platform, which aims to modernize access to relevant services while reducing costs and setbacks from legacy systems. The VA IG found in its report that during the contract planning process, VBA did not identify required steps along the proper timeline or, quote, establish achievable contract requirements. Additionally, OIG found that the VBA neglected to assign appropriately trained and experienced personnel to develop requirements for the platform. The move to the new platform will result in the sunsetting of 12 legacy systems, one of which includes the Benefits Delivery Network, a legacy system necessary to allow VBA to fully transition to the digital GI Bill platform. The capabilities of that BDN system were set to be absorbed by the platform by September 2023. However, the network's decommission is now expected in June of 2025. The report says that, quote, the OIG found that the inclusion of unachievable requirements and timelines in the contract was likely a result of VBA rushing to award the contract and the lack of expert personnel involved. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.